Good luck, Tim. Here's your first question. I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore is a quotation from which film? The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, or It's a Wonderful Life?
Well, I've only seen one of these films, and I have heard the quotation before, and the film that I've seen is The Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to go for The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz is the right answer, of course. I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. And CJ, your first question. Which EastEnders character was sent to prison for stealing the Christmas Club money? Ricky Butcher, Ian Beale, or Arthur Fowler?
I have no idea. I have never watched a soap opera in my life. Okay, Ricky Butcher, that's the one played by Sid Owen. Ian Beale is that chap who's been there the longest. And Arthur Fowler isn't in it anymore, I think. So that's exhausted my knowledge of EastEnders. I have the tiniest bell ringing that Arthur Fowler was sent to prison for something. This could be a complete red herring, but I'll go for Arthur Fowler.
OK, Judith?
I think that's right.
It's Arthur Fowler, yeah. One each, and back to you, Tim. Who starred as Patrick Bateman in the 2000 film American Psycho? Kevin Spacey, Christian Bale, or Johnny Depp?
Well, luckily, again, I have seen this film. All those actors would be quite good in the role, but the answer is Christian Bale.
It is, yes, Christian Bale. Well done. Seen that one. Working well for you. And CJ, have a look at this one. What is the name of the martini-drinking dog in the US cartoon comedy Family Guy? Is it Carl, Tony, or Brian?
That's the Griffin family, and the dog's called Brian.
Brian. That's a question that you both would have gobbled up, and CJ got it, so it's 2-2, but going well, Tim. See if you can get this. The final episode of which American soap featured a character called Fallon being abducted by aliens? The Colbys, Knots Landing, or Falcon Crest?
I have absolutely no idea. I've never watched this programme, so I'm gonna have a guess, and because you mentioned abducted by aliens, and aliens sometimes landing, so Knots Landing. So I'm going to go for.
Okay, I see. The aliens have landed. Knots Landing. It's not right. It didn't work. No, it is the Colbys. Okay, well, it means you win the round if you get this. CJ, who played downtrodden social worker Mrs. Weiss in the 2009 film Precious? Mariah Carey, Beyonce, or Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, she was playing a role that, unless you knew it was her, it took you a few moments to actually recognise it was in the clothing and the wigs, and it was Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey in heavy makeup is the right answer, CJ. Yes, Mariah Carey means you've just taken the round there. Tim just failing with his 80s American soaps there. So it means you won't be in the final round, Tim. Would you both please come back and join your teams? Well, first blow from the Eggheads, too spectacular, one brain gone from you, and all the Eggheads there. We'll play our second head-to-head today, and this is politics.
We like politics.
Didn't I say I'd have a go?
Yes.
Nobody really likes it. So I will have a go.
Excellent.
All right, Paul, and which Egghead would you like? Can't be CJ, of course.
May I play Judith, please?
Let's have Paul and Judith into the question room then, please. Well, Paul, I believe one of your hobbies is walking, particularly the mighty Thames.
Well, that's right, Dermot. We started off in central London, and so far in stages I've walked beyond Oxford, and currently I'm about 40 miles from the source. I'm between Oxford and Lechlade, so hopefully in the next year or so I'll get to the end. And
tell me about the source of the Thames. We all know what it's like at its far end in the Thames estuary, but I mean, does it start as a kind of gentle little trickle somewhere?
Well, yes, it does. It's a spring somewhere around Cirencester in Gloucestershire, and I think in the early part of the Thames you can actually jump across a river, but I haven't got to that point yet. I wouldn't be able to jump where I am now, even though I'm just 40 miles from the end.
Yeah, not to be tried in central London. Well, Paul, would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please.
OK, first question, Paul. With reference to the UK Civil Service, for what did the letter A stand in the name of the department known by the acronym MAFF, M-A-F-F? Aeronautics, arbitration, or agriculture?
Well, I work in the civil service now, but unfortunately not in that department. And I don't think that department is called MAF anymore. But I seem to remember it's the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, so my answer is agriculture.
Well worked out, yep, agriculture, full answer there. Agriculture for the A in MAF. And Judith, which city is home to the headquarters of the International Monetary Fund? Washington, D.C., Beijing or London?
Well, I think that is Washington.
Yes, that's correct. Washington for the IMF. And Paul, in which decade was Bernard Wetherill appointed Speaker of the House of Commons? 1960s, 70s or 80s?
It's a bit tricky because I do remember the name, and I think he was a former tailor, and I think he represented a Croydon constituency, but I need to work out exactly what decade. I don't think it was the 80s, and it would seem to be too early for the 60s. I thought he was round about the time of Margaret Thatcher coming into power, so I would say the 70s.
The 70s. Well, you're right about the Thatcher bit, and of course the majority of her period in power was in the 80s, and that's when Bernard Wetherill was appointed, 1983 to be precise. When did he stand down, Eggheads, do you know?
He preceded Betty Boothroyd, didn't he? 92.
92, 83 to 92. So a chance for Judith to take the lead. Well, Judith, in the UK, what is the name of the book that new MPs sign when they're sworn in after a general election? Is it the test roll, the estimates file, or the procedures script?
I haven't heard of that. I shouldn't think it's the estimates file. I should think it's probably, well, a procedures script. It sounds a bit awkward, that. I think it's probably the test roll.
Test roll is the right answer. Well done. Yes, test roll is correct. So you have the lead, and it means you need to get this, Paul. Paul, about whom was Michael Foot speaking when he said he passed from rising hope to elder statesman without any intervening period whatsoever? Was he talking about Michael Heseltine, David Steele, or Tony Benn?
I don't, again, I'm not sure. I would have, it sounds complimentary, so I'm not sure if it's one of his political opponents. I don't think it was David Steele. And by the same token, bearing in mind it might be about one of his own colleagues, don't think it was Michael Heseltine. So I don't know it, but I'm going to have to go for Tony Benn.
It's not Tony Benn. Any ideas about the other two, Judith, if you'd face this question?
Well, Michael Heseltine had a lot of intervening periods. I think it must be David Steele.
Yeah, David Steele. And it means we end the round. Paul, Judith has two already. A number you can't match. Would you both please come back and join your teams? Well, not spectacular or even spectacular so far. Two brains gone from the final round. Eggheads are all still there. Our third head-to-head today is music. And who'd like to play this one? Music.
I think it should be David.
David? Yeah. That's me, Dermot.
They all think you, David. And who would you like to play from the Eggheads? Judith and CJ have played. So you've got Kevin, Pat or Barry?
Who do you think? Kevin?
If you want to, yeah.
I'll take on Kevin, please.
All right.
Brave.
One of the spectacle-wearing members of the Eggheads as well. Let's have David and Kevin into the question room, please. So, David, you're part of the reason for the team name as an optometrist. Do you supply the glasses to everyone in the team?
I'm afraid I do. I'm guilty.
And tell me about the love of musicals, especially, the reason why you're playing this round.
Yes, I like the musicals in London, go to see them whenever I can, and I run a musical group, and we put shows on about once a year.
OK, what's your favourite musical?
I've got two, really. It's the Rocky Horror Show and Return to the Forbidden Planet.
Rocky Horror Show, CJ?
Absolutely, yeah.
One of your favourites?
I've never seen Forbidden Planet. I've been in Rocky Horror. I've done, played the role of Riff Raff.
Yeah, I can see it now. OK. Now, David, would you like to go first or second?
I think I'll continue going first, please.
Good luck, David. First question. In the traditional song, The 12 Days of Christmas, which birds are given on the second day of Christmas? Mute swans, green finches or turtle doves?
Well, we sometimes do a Christmas concert, and this is one of the songs that we do. And I know for sure I don't ever sing about mute swans or green finches, so it's got to be turtle doves.
2 turtle doves, yes, correct. Kevin, who had a UK #1 single in 2004 with Toxic? Avril Lavigne, Britney Spears or Amy Winehouse?
That was Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, that is correct. 1 each, and straight back to David. Which band had a UK #1 album in 2000 with Kid A? REM, U2 or Radiohead?
Well, 2000 music is really not my strong point at all. I have got some U2, but I don't recall that one. Don't know anything about REM, so I think I will go for Radiohead.
Okay, interesting method to get the right answer. Radiohead is correct. Kevin, the song I Get a Kick Out of You comes from which musical? Anything Goes, 42nd Street or Carousel?
It's by Cole Porter, and the only Cole Porter... his songs did tend to get moved about from musical to musical, but the only Cole Porter there is Anything Goes. So that's Anything Goes.
Anything Goes, which I'm sure David would have got, but the question went to you. It's the right answer. Yes, Anything Goes. And both level pegging here. Will the next question each sort out a winner? David, the Slavonic dances are a set of orchestral pieces by which composer? Brahms, Mozart or Dvorak?
Classical music is a big black hole in my knowledge, but I think it's Dvorak.
Okay, Dvorak, not that big a hole then. That's the right answer. Yes, well done. So, 3 out of 3, and Kevin needs to get this. Kevin, what is the German Fach system used to classify singing voices, guitar strings, or timpani vibrations? What is the German Fach system used to classify? It's F-A-C-H.
Not sure. I've heard the name, but I can't remember the what it's used for. F-A-C-H. It's not, I mean, those aren't the notes of the guitar strings, so, and in any case, there are 6, so I think I'm going to have to go for singing voices.
Okay, the German Fach system. Barry, you seem excited there?
Yes, it classifies opera voices.
Opera voices. Yep, it's the correct answer, Kevin. Good quizzing, you two. So, David, seeing as you're both so good, let's make it sudden death, shall we, and remove the choices, make it harder for you. Here's your question. The Waltz of the Flowers is a dance from which Tchaikovsky ballet? The Waltz of the Flowers is a dance from which Tchaikovsky ballet?
More classical. Okay. Purely a guess, Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty for the Waltz of the Flowers. It's not. Kevin.
Nutcracker.
It is the Nutcracker, the Waltz of the Flowers appears in. So the first opportunity falls at Kevin's feet. Kevin, the video to which Madonna's single released in 1989 caused controversy due to its overt use of religious imagery such as burning crosses and a statue crying blood. The video to which Madonna's single released in 1989 caused controversy due to its overt use of religious imagery such as burning crosses and a statue crying blood.
I think that was Like a Prayer.
Like a Prayer is correct, Kevin. Bad luck, David. You were getting closer and closer, I thought, but caught out in sudden death, so no place in the final round, David. Kevin, you'll be there. Would you both please come back and join your teams?
Here, there is no justice.
Please do not hang my man. Do not hang him.
This law that you despise
Please do not hang him.
is a law that keeps us.
And I have heard the quotation before, and the film that I've seen is The Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to go for The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz is the right answer, of course. I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. And CJ, your first question. Which EastEnders character was sent to prison for stealing the Christmas Club money? Ricky Butcher, Ian Beale or Arthur Fowler?
I have no idea. I have never watched a soap opera in my life. Okay, Ricky Butcher, that's the one played by Sid Owen. The tiniest bell ringing that Arthur Fowler was sent to prison for something. This could be a complete red herring, but I'll go for Arthur Fowler.
Okay, Judith?
I think that's right.
It's Arthur Fowler, yeah.
Ian Beale is that chap who's been there the longest, and Arthur Fowler isn't in it anymore, I think. So that's exhausted my knowledge of EastEnders. I have...
Good luck, Tim. Here's your first question. I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore is a quotation from which film? The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, or It's a Wonderful Life?
Well, I've only seen one of these films,